is Polaris? Well, if you have not caught up to the Black Butler manga, um, major spoilers ahead. This, like, most people have made it up to the Campania arc, but past that point, it's iffy. So, Polaris is introduced in. He debuts in volume 25, chapter 123. Polaris is likely the person who. Major manga spoilers here. Major spoilers. Agni dies. The person who is the most likely to have killed Agni is Polaris. I'll try not to hold a grudge against him because of that. Now, Polaris has this major panel, like full page panel, of him saying, "I am a butler even in death." Now, this is probably the most interesting panel of his because, as we all know, butlerdom is like the premise of the whole series. Like, without the butlers, would there be any butler? But Polaris being a butler even in death is very confusing because it is stated, or at least we believe, that he is a bizarre doll. Also, similarly, it is established that Polaris has the easiest to obtain blood type. Once again, Polaris is likely the person who takes care of the affairs of the Undertaker, who follows his every word, and he seems to be second in command to the Undertaker in the society structure that is the weird vampire blood cult thing that they have going on right now. So let's look through the candidates of who could be Polaris. First, we have Viscount Druid, who wants immortality, is a doctor, is shown to be working with the Undertaker in the Campania arc. But why I personally cannot see him as Polaris is because he has not been seen to canonically die. He has been missing in the series for a long while, but he has not been seen to canonically die. He also has long hair, pretty boy eyelashes, TM, as Yana likes to draw them, and very light, pale colored eyes. And if you look at Polaris as he is drawn within the Black Butler manga, he doesn't have those features at all. And as we all know, Yana keeps her characters on model. So now that we've ruled out the only other possible candidate of who could be Polaris. Hi, it's me, Fate, again. A few days later with considerably worse mic quality and probably video quality because it's later at night. So we're just gonna rock that 2010 score for the rest of my explanation of who Rian is. Because it just occurred to me now that some people don't know who Rian is. Rian was introduced in the Campania arc as our villain of the arc, except he's, the fake villain that Yana puts as like a scapegoat, and then she reveals that, oh, it was all a part of the grand scheme of the Undertaker, and this is like the first arc that really happens. Yeah, so he's our little villain of the arc, and he is the person who introduces the Phoenix Society, which has the very wonderful, very, very reproduced Phoenix pose, and most of his screen time consists of him having his entire life just shattered before him and being very charismatic. And then, like, that little portion of time where he's like, these bitches can't shoot guns. And that's an approximation of Rian. I also forgot to say that he dies at the end. Yeah, he dies. It's blunt force trauma because the Campania is going up, and because he's not superhuman, nor does he have a superhuman with him, he just gets flung off a balcony and falls to his death. It's very gruesome. You get to see the whole thing in animated glory in the Campania movie. You should watch it. It's great. It's a good movie. Let's look at why Rian is likely to be Polaris. Now, Rian, even though he was introduced as like monster of the week, monster of the arc, kind of a character, you can tell that in the Weston arc, there is a panel where Rian is reintroduced with the Undertaker opening up his carriage. So not only is Yana Toboso bringing him up again in a later arc, she is also clearly showing him to have been working with the Undertaker pre-Campania, and it shows because the Weston arc was in the works around a year or two before the Campania arc. So he's been working with The Undertaker for a while, and it is essentially shown that they have a long term partnership. And it is then also implied that for as long as the Phoenix Society has been around, The Undertaker has been a part of it. Now, Ryan Stoker was the perfect figurehead for the Phoenix Society because he himself is a very charismatic man. I mean, his introduction to the manga, he gets several different panels of him talking about health, wellness, and curing people from the ultimate ailment, death. Let's look at why he is the prime candidate for who Polaris is. His pros here is that he's known to have worked with The Undertaker. The Undertaker does seem to be very comfortable with him. And he matches Polaris's build and description. Brown eyes, short hair, a similar face shape, a similar body shape. And let's continue. Let's look back at the Campania arc, because let's look at the panel that kind of spurned this whole thing, where Ryan Stoker watches his life crumble around him as The Undertaker tells him what he's been practicing for the past 5 years is not truly medicine. It stopped being the medicine the moment that Ryan failed to understand it. And what does The Undertaker do as he watches this man's life crumble before him? He pats this 35-year-old man on the head and calls him a good boy. That was definitely something that The Undertaker did towards Ryan. And I'm not even going to mention the musical version, because in the animated Campania movie, the scene goes pretty much the same, except we get voice acting and a fully animated scene of The Undertaker patting Ryan's head and calling him a good boy.
You believed everything I said, lapped up every lie I told like an eager puppy. That's a good boy.
Now that we've taken a moment to calm down, let's take a look at the musical version of this scene.
医者じゃないね。
そんな。つまりお前が人体組成実験の首謀者というわけか。アンダーテイカー。
But let's get back to the matter at hand. Why is Ryan Stoker also a really good candidate, also metaphorically, for Polaris? Let's take a look at his last name, Ryan Stoker. Now, does that have any connotations with you guys? Like any at all? Well, let's talk about Bram Stoker's Dracula. Now, the reason why I really kind of got on top of the Bram Stoker's Dracula thing when it came to Ryan was the fact that if he is Polaris, that is quite possibly the most perfect name that you could give a character for what they do with Bizarre Dolls, because Bizarre Dolls fundamentally need new blood to live, because they cannot produce any of their own as per their living physical body is dead. Guess what Dracula's about? Guess what it's about? Also, let's look at Ryan's appearance once again. Ryan has a very, unlike the pretty boy paradise that is Black Butler, Ryan Stoker looks like an average 35-year-old man, and I love that for him. And that's why I think his design would be the best in terms of designs to make Polaris, because Polaris is known to have the most common blood type. His personality aligns with what Polaris has going on right now of like instability. Because many of you may think about Ryan Stoker and think about health, wellness, good body, good soul, strength. But that is his persona as the leader of the Phoenix Society. You can then see in the later parts of the chapter when they are getting attacked by Bizarre Dolls that he's kind of an ass. He curses at the guys who failed to properly shoot the Bizarre Dolls and calls them idiots as they're getting attacked and mauled by the Bizarre Dolls. He makes a run for his own life. He's terrified for his own life as he's running. And then, when he's finally in the brink of the gutter that is his life, he gets told, no, all of the science you've been doing for the last like 5 or so years of your life wasn't even science, and actually I made it all up, and I'm going to kill you, and you're going to die here. That would objectively lead to a mental break in anybody's psychology. Looking at Ryan Stoker, looking at the circumstances that surround him and his personal relationship with The Undertaker, let's just say that he is our best candidate as of, I think there are 204 chapters of Black Butler. At least that's what the Kurohitsuji wiki is telling me. So hey guys, what if I told you that there was a 35-year-old man we could be shipping The Undertaker with? What if I told you I've been like the only person making ship art of it? What if this entire video is just trying to convince more people to ship Under Ryan? Would you ship Under Ryan with me? Would you? Would you be so kind as to do that for little old me? Also, this video was brought to you by me and Noel Butler going absolutely bonkers. I think a few months ago in the middle of the night when Noel sent me a text at like midnight or 1 a.m. with The Undertaker calling Ryan a good boy and was like, oh my god, bestie, 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 bestie. And I was like, and I ascended mentally in the 3 a.m. bracket of time that I checked my messages. Awesome. Also, big shout out to Smorsy, who has been like the one motherfucker on earth who is about as obsessed with Under Ryan as I am, and is like the other half of the reason that I have made this video. Hi, Noel's friends. You're probably the only people seeing this right now because I have 3 subscribers. Oh shit. And you've also probably seen me in some of Null's videos, except in much lower quality. I swear I'm hotter on a better camera. Anybody is hotter on a better camera. But like I'm bad bitches read Black Butler in middle school. I am bad bitches. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you now consider Ryan Stoker to be a very good thing for The Undertaker. Bye!